What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about Angela, an absolutely beautiful looking character and a character that I had a lot of high hopes for. But unfortunately, guys, after the testing that I've done, even with a really good build, it seems like the only reason that people would really buy this uniform is because of the uniform effect that she has, where she increases damage to supervillains by 40%. That applies to all superhero allies, which is a very good support passive, right? And that, well, a good uniform effect. And that's quality because, you know, she'll always be relevant, at least in that respect. But as far as a character that has a lot of damage or a lot of output, that's really not there. I mean, the build could be better, but she still should have done a little bit more damage than what I'm going to show you. But let's take a look at her, guys, and talk a little bit more about her. So she has 39,000 physical attack. She has pretty much max attack stats. Her critical rate's going to get maxed out from one of her skills. And she does have the weapon master tag. So she's going to be immediately compared to characters like Wolverine, Moon Knight, who have the weapon master tag, and they can go to level 80. Guys, they're just going to be way stronger. And even though Wolverine's a native tier 2, you got to put a lot of investment in him, you still have Moon Knight, who is a very free to play character that doesn't require that much investment in order to do way more damage than, say, a character like this. Now, she could still be a good support for him. And I do have, you know, physical attack Urus on the character, some critical damage, right? And her awaken skill can be delay canceled, which is nice. That's pretty quality that you can do that. So that's something good that they have. The tier 2 pass, the increased skill damage by 40%. Is very good. The guaranteed critical rate is also very good, especially considering the fact that she really needs to play with a rage or a mini rage, as what I'll show you guys today, because of the way that she is designed. She could play with a proc, but you're going to be losing out on quite a bit of damage if you do play with a proc. However, in World Boss, it has been shown many of times that if you play with a proc, it probably will do even more damage, even though you might not get as much residual damage from other skills at times, not always. But I just don't think the character is really strong enough to really put a rage on, to invest a rage on. You're really better off to use those things on other characters that are really good for ABL, ABX, at least in my humble opinion. And then we get to the 1 skill, which, you know, big deal. 2 skill, you know, does have paralysis. The 3rd skill. Now, the 3rd skill does give her 5 seconds of invincibility, which is nice for the super armor. It also gives her an all attack buff by 30%. That's really nice, and the critical rate by 20%. So you only need 55% critical rate in order to max out her critical rate, because it does last for 6 seconds, and that's cool. The 4th skill does give her accumulation by plus 1%. Now, this is good, but in all honesty, guys, they should have put this up to 1.2, 1.5%. But again, she really is meant to be pretty much just a support. So I guess it really doesn't matter, but I sure would have liked to seen her have a little bit more damage than what she does. And then the 5th skill does give her a 30% heal. She has pretty good survivability because of this, and you definitely want to put the proc or the damage proc on the 5th skill, because you actually have an increase of damage proc by 50% for 1 attack. So you want to make sure that you do land your proc on the 5th skill. And then her passive here removes all debuffs. This is actually really nice, man, because anytime she's debuffed, she removes all debuffs. So it really aids in her survivability. It's actually really good. And then her leadership, 30% increase of physical defense. So let's talk about her rotation, guys, because it's pretty simple, right? Now, you can do it a couple different ways. You can do the awaken skill, delay it slightly, go 3, 4, delay the 4, let her slam down the sword, and then go into the 5th skill. But you could also just go 3, 4, slam down, awaken skill, and then the 5th skill, right? And you'll find that the proc, at least if you're playing with a rage, or a mini rage, it seems to work out a little bit better. Sometimes the proc gets a little bit off if you go awaken skill, delay, and then 3, 4, delay, 5. But her skills are beautiful. Like, I really love the skill, but it does suck that the 4, you have to wait for her to slam that sword down and get all these hits in order to get all the damage from it, right? If you do not delay that thing, you'll lose all of that damage, right? I also wish, you know, we get a little bit more of that residual damage from the 3rd skill, but her 5th skill is beautiful, right? She's got some gorgeous skills. She's a gorgeous looking character, right? But in a way, it's kind of a shame that she is going to be kind of, you know, pretty much a support, but it's better than nothing, right? Her type enhancement is normal, so we're going to be going against Null, but if we were going against, like, say, Mephisto, and you increase this, it would increase her damage a little bit. But again, guys, there's just a lot other better options that have her tag, that are aliens, that have the weapon master tag, that you're probably more than likely going to use. She can still do okay, but I don't know. And then we have a stage 5 power of Angry Hawk. So this could be leveled up a little bit more. And then we get into the artifact. Her artifact's actually really good because it gives her an increase of all attack. So if you had her artifact, that would be really good for her, especially as far as damage. And we're running the mini rage. Now, this isn't the best rage, but as you guys just saw, all my stats are maxed out. My critical damage, my critical rate is going to be maxed out for one of my skills. So this isn't bad, right? We got the increased base damage by 0.8% for 1% of dodge rate, of guaranteed dodge rate for 5 seconds. But my dodge is sitting at 45%. So if we added more dodge, we could do a little bit more damage. But after what you guys are going to see today, I think you'll agree that even if I did max out that dodge, that I don't really think you're going to be using her as a damage dealer for the most part, but this is pretty much a free-to-play way to go. Her uniform is at Mythic, and her uniform options are Yelena, which is way outdated at this point. You have Captain Britain, which is one of the ugliest uniforms in the game, at least in my humble opinion. But it's a good uniform, but in all honesty, guys, it's pretty outdated, but still some people might use her in ABL, maybe. And then there's Corvus Slave, which is a very outdated uniform, and a native tier 2 one at that. And then you have Cersei, which is a good uniform, but a bit difficult to play because of the damage accumulation. But people might have this thing. It is fairly strong. And then you have the Spider-Man Far From Home uniform, which is a pretty good uniform. So a pretty free-to-play setup for the most part, except for the native tier 2 that is here. So let's jump into Null, guys. And let me show you what she can do. I didn't even show her uniform effect, but it just increases damage to villains by 40% to all superhero allies. So let's go in here. We'll do stage 29 and see how well she performs. Now we're going to be using Wave's leadership, and we're also going to be using Valkyrie. Now my Valkyrie has a maxed out artifact on her that increases damage to supervillains to all allies. So this is some really insane supports that I am going to be using for Angel. And we just have one ignore dodge striker. She's going to get ignore dodge from her awakened skill, but we're excuse me. But we're going to be using the rotation. 3, 4, delay, awaken skill, 5 is what we're going to be trying to do here. So 3, 4. There we go. And you guys can see the damage. You know, I mean, this is just stage 29. And I wish our fifth skill had a little bit shorter cooldown on it, guys, because what you'll find a lot of times is that whenever you do the fourth skill, a lot of times the fifth skill, because it has a long cooldown, it takes a little bit before you can actually use that skill again. It can be kind of annoying. I mean, her damage is not terrible. It's not, you know, horrific. Right? It's okay. But stage 29 really isn't that big of a feat, in all honesty, guys. Especially at this point in Marvel Future Fight. Right, a lot of players are going to be pushing way higher bosses than this. There we go. But she is quality. I love that her fifth skill is in an iframe. That's actually really, really nice. And I'm just going to wait for the awakened skill. And I also like that she just has a lot of iframes, man. She doesn't get hit very much, which is nice. But you see that fourth skill? It still has that long cooldown. It really would have been nice if that fourth skill would have had a 8-second cooldown instead of a 9-second. Man, that kind of sucks, because it would have allowed her to do more damage over time. That would have helped out a lot, even with her kit. So, I mean, we did that in 1 minute 30 seconds, stage 29. Not terrible, not terrible. Let's see, let's try this out here. There we go. Not bad. We got quite a bit of damage here. Okay, we're going to go here, hit that 4 again. And because she's in iframe, she doesn't really get interrupted too much, which is nice. That is nice. And we're going to be switching to Wave here because she's fast on her feet. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Move away, move away, move away, move away. Okay, we're going to wait for the awakened skill here. There we go. The mini rage does work really well on the character, I have to say. Not too bad at all. Okay, not bad. Get over here. And let's rock and roll. But I just love that she doesn't get interrupted. Like she's a fun character to play. And, you know, if you're just trying to do, like, say, a lower level world boss, like, she'll be all right. I mean, she's definitely leaps and bounds better than what she was before, but we're really not comparing her to a whole lot. All right. She has good movement speed, which is nice. I mean, she looks cool, guys. Like, she looks so cool. I just wish they would have done a little bit more for her as far as, like, damage. All right. Switch out. There we go. I mean, the truth is, if I was using Valkyrie, we'd be probably doing just as much damage, if not more. Maybe. Okay, just a slight delay on that awakened skill. Okay. That proc, hit that proc, hit that proc. I mean, she has a lot of survivability. Dude, with that remove all debuff passive, with the 30% heal, with all the iframes, man, she's got godly survivability. Like, that's why I wish she had a little bit more damage. And like, if she had a little bit more damage, you'd be thinking to yourself, damn, man, this is a quality character. And honestly, it wouldn't hurt if Netmarble made these support characters a little bit stronger. Like, it really wouldn't hurt, because it's not like they're going to be dominating the tier 4 characters, you know? Okay. Yep. All right, let's move out of the way. Run, 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 run. I mean, I just like that she doesn't die so easy. It's really nice. And it makes her a really fun character to play, in all honesty. Right? Not too bad at all. Now, if I use her awakened skill, she might die right here. We're going to go ahead and try it. See how she performs here. Oh, yeah, she died. She died. I couldn't quite get out of there, but you guys can see that, I mean, stage 29 is still pretty difficult for her, even with a pretty damn good build, right? Granted, if I would have been using a different obelisk, we would have been able to get this done. If I was using a damage proc, like a CTP of energy, we would have been able to get this done. However, you really don't want to be putting an obelisk like that on this character unless she's your favorite, right? If Angela is your favorite character, by all means, go crazy, go all out, right? But I'm just recommending you, really, I would just build her, like either put a CTP of Insight on her to aid in her support passive, or give her immunity to Guardbreak Obelisk so she can actually be, you know, fairly decent in AC, because pretty much she's going to be sitting on the sidelines, I think, for most players, because of her uniform effect. And it is a good uniform effect, and for a lot of players out there, it will make the uniform worth buying for her. So let me know what you guys think about Angela, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. TD+7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.